Hey there, lovely people. Thank you so very much again for sharing your time with me. As always, I hope that I share something that is helpful for you and that you can use to empower yourself to continue to overcome narcissistic abuse. I want to talk today about the female narcissist. A lot of the fellas out there, I know, feel like when you come to a lot of these channels where women discuss narcissistic abuse, some of you, I think, may take it personal when we use he or, refer to a narcissist as just male. That is not my intention, as I'm sure it's not the intention of many other women. However, most of us were in relationships with men. For myself, I'm going to speak for myself. I started this channel out of anger. I'm just going to be honest. I was fed up with his lying and hearing the rumors, and I was like brainstorming, what could I do to really shut him down or just to get him to stay at bay? And so my thought was, I can make a YouTube channel about narcissistic abuse. Now, what am I going to say? I had no idea when I started. Some of those videos I started with, they're not even on here, you guys, because I was wild and out. Okay. So I have since, within the year, matured greatly, praised to God. And now I'm at a different place, a completely different place. I'm grateful for that. I can see all of the people in my life who were narcissists or are narcissists. And man, this has been a journey of learning and overcoming for me, as I'm sure it has been for many of you who are now awakened to what has actually happened and who you are, and just the whole dynamics between the empath and the narcissist. So without continuing my babbling, I'm going to talk about the female narcissist. Yes, I know female narcissists. And in fact, they are a cold piece of work, let me tell you. So the male narcissist, especially for the female super empath, seems to be like we can kind of get it under control with them when we learn the game and learn how to do the things we need to maneuver around them. However, there's a very venomous snake out there, and that's the female narcissist. And even the female empath finds it difficult to work around this beast. The female narcissist, I know several of them. I'm going to talk about one in particular today, and she is an ex-best friend. This friend, I noticed throughout my life, there was sort of this kind of love-hate thing that she had with me. There was a very silent competition while dragging me down behind my back. That was going on. It was something I didn't want to believe. And I couldn't really see it until we became adults. And I started breaking away from all of the chains that I felt were holding me down from a religious perspective and just different friends and family members. I was starting to pull away from a lot of stuff. And this is when I realized that I never saw this person for exactly who she was or who she is. Even though I had witnessed her saying some awful things and doing some crazy stuff, it never really dawned on me that this person is actually quite psychotic. So I remember one day, after, so many times throughout our relationship of her trying to tell me what I needed to do with my life, asking me questions and, just berating me, belittling me, whatever. So one day I just had enough of it, and I let her have it. I told her she basically needed to mind her own business and she needed to worry about her own life, because from the way I see it, that she doesn't have it all together either. Oh my gosh. Why in the world did I say anything to her? Let me tell you what this snake in the grass slithered on to do. So she sat there calmly, and I know that she was angry and boiling inside. And said, okay, well, fine. I mean, I snapped, you guys. I was like, you need to mind your own business. I'm tired of you asking me questions and bothering me. And, you know, it was just too much. And so she was like, okay, and went on about her business. Well, I hadn't called or talked to her or anything. I was like, I'm not apologizing to her because she needs to mind her business and she needs to stop doing people like this. I've watched her belittle her husband in public and in front of people. And I mean, just talk down to him like he was a child. And my heart would break for him because no person needs to be treated that way. And so I remember one time he took money out of the bank. He bought a beer, you guys. We are all out and he bought a beer. She's just out loud. You didn't ask me. You need to ask me before you remove money. And I'm thinking, you know, this is a private matter. You don't need to be in front of people, you know, talking to him that way. You don't need to talk to him that way at all. But anyway, so she was the boss of everything. She was the master of the entire situation with him, with friends and everything. And if you were going to buck up against her, oh, she was going to try to bring you down or smear you so bad. So after I went off on her and she just, you know, was like, okay, it was real smooth. You guys have to watch out for them. They'll do that like, oh, okay. Like as if nothing is wrong. And then they go to work behind your back to try to kill your name. So she went on. And my mom told me one day, probably about a month later, oh, I saw your friend at the store and she didn't know what was wrong with you. She said she hadn't talked to you and that, you know, maybe you were just a little off or something like that. So even to my mother, it's trying to make it like something was wrong with me. I was the problem in the situation, and she was, the innocent one who was just concerned about me and my well-being. This is the stuff that they do behind your backs, you guys. And this, the female and male, they'll do this like, oh, we're just concerned. We care. And then the moment that you try to reach out, because see, I didn't know then what I know now. So I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I didn't hurt her feelings as bad. I'm thinking I hurt her feelings. I didn't hurt her feelings as bad as I thought. So I tried to call her and talk to her and I left her a message. She never, ever called me back. Well, maybe 6 months later, I saw her at, I was renewing, in Oklahoma, you have to renew a tag on your car. You have to go to the tag agency or mail it in. So I happened to walk into the tag agency this day and I saw her there with her children who I had babysat so many times. And I saw her there and she rolled her eyes at me and turned the other way as though I did not exist. She had no idea who I was, and then encouraged her children to turn around too and act like they didn't know me. Evil, you guys, straight evil. And in the meantime, I still didn't get it because I didn't know then what I know now. I'm just like, hey, like, you know, trying to get her attention or say something. And then, of course, at that moment, I finally got it that, oh, this person is not going to talk to me. And it was quite embarrassing because it's like, oh, hey, I know her. Oh, well, maybe I don't know her. And so that was how she treated me. So this person who claimed in front of my mother that, oh, I miss her, I don't know what the problem is, and this and this and that, was really the devil, and had no intentions of ever talking to me and hoping that I would just come back crawling as a friend. But I was like, psh, I could find another friend. That was kind of how, you know, like I said, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know what I was dealing with, but that was kind of the attitude I had at that point in my life. And so I was just like, well, she can go kick rocks. I don't care. And I moved on with my life. What's so sad about it, is that, I continue to hear through the grapevine the stuff that she said. And she still talks about it to this day. And this was maybe 8 years ago. And I don't ever think about her until I hear something, some random comment or something. I'm like, oh, I don't care about what she's saying. And they hate that. They'll think about it forever. But that female narcissist, she is something different. She will lurk about. She will watch you. You will offend her and do something to her that you don't even know about. And I'm sure maybe this is all narcissists, but I know for sure the female narc. And she will remember, she'll watch, and she'll wait for the perfect opportunity to try and bring you down. And I mean, when you fall, she's going to try to take every little ounce of your dignity that she possibly can take from you. I'm watching a situation in my neighborhood where a female narcissist is at work, playing another neighbor, male neighbor, against her husband. And it is the most sickening thing to witness. I want to say something, but I can't. It's not my business. It's not my place. And I don't feel the liberty to speak on it. But they play very dangerous games, you guys, very dangerous games that could really get someone hurt or even killed. So female narcs, very, very dangerous. The other thing is that they can get men in trouble. They can get people in trouble. They're more likely to get the man in trouble, to paint the innocent victim male in trouble and paint him as the abuser, than a female victim would be to paint her, or excuse me, the male victim would be to paint her as the abuser when she really is. So let me say that again. So the female narcissist is more likely to get away with painting the male victim as the abuser versus him being able to actually paint her as the abuser, and she really is the abuser. She gets away with it a lot more often than the male counterpart does. She can get away with a lot. She can move through a crowd, and a good-looking female narcissist can bring a lot of men to their knees, because men struggle with more of, I believe, now that I could be wrong, man, please correct me if I'm wrong, but they struggle more with the visual side of sexual appeal. So the female narcissist uses her body to her advantage. I've watched them work, you guys. They are the devil. I mean, the devil. They're in the churches. They're in any groups that you're a part of. They're in the workplace. They are secretaries to, some good men who they bring down. And I'm not saying that it's not partially that man's fault, but these people plot and plan against you to take you out. So anyway, that's my take on the female narcissist in short. She is a dangerous piece of work. Please be careful of her. Stay awake and stay aware of her, because she is out to steal, kill, and destroy. And she is a sneaky biatch. All right. You guys have a fantastic day.